Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video tonight, I am going to be giving you a preview for the Manchester United Crystal Palace game at Old Trafford, 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. It is our first game of the Premier League season, and to be honest with you, I expect Manchester United to win. It's very imperative that we do get off to a winning start. Now, Crystal Palace, this is their second league game of the season because they won their first league game against Southampton by 1-0. Palace recently got knocked out of the Carabao Cup against Bournemouth. They had lost 11-10 on penalties. Now, the good news is, from a Manchester United perspective, is that Crystal Palace have got quite a few injuries. Now, they've got Christian Benteke out with injury. They've got Connor Wickham out with injury. They've got James Tompkins out. They've also got Gary Cahill out. They've got Nathan Ferguson out. And I think Patrick Van Aanholt is out with injury. And Sakho has just recently recovered from injury for Crystal Palace. But, Crystal Palace have still got some good, players. They've obviously got Wilfried Zaha, who was obviously a former Manchester United player. He was actually Sir Alex Ferguson's last signing before he retired in 2013. The main explanation Wilfried Zaha left us is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. They've also got Jordan Ayew. That's very, very good for Palace. They've also now got Batshuayi. I think they've still also got Andy Townsend. Now, this game at Old Trafford last season was 2-1 to Crystal Palace. And that was Crystal Palace's first victory at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 1989, which is around 31 years ago now. But we did beat them at Selhurst Park by 2-0 towards the end of last season. So we have got a pretty good record against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace's current manager is Roy Hodgson. And I'm actually surprised that he's still managing. He's now in his 70s, Roy Hodgson. I think he's managed around 16 teams. I can't remember every single team he's managed. Obviously, he's currently at Crystal Palace at the moment. Before he was at Crystal Palace, he obviously managed Liverpool. He's managed Fulham before. He's managed West Brom. He's also managed Blackburn. He's managed Grasshoppers. He's managed Underneath. I think he managed England's under-21s as well. Did Roy Hodgson. But yeah, last season, Crystal Palace finished 14th. Now, there was reports coming out yesterday saying that Manchester United could be without 11 players for this game against Crystal Palace on Saturday. Now, Solskjaer recently confirmed that Paul Pogba is a doubt for this game. Paul Pogba has just recently recovered from coronavirus. So that's very good news from a Manchester United perspective. It's also good news for Paul Pogba and his family. But he was in training recently. And I hope that Paul Pogba is available for this game. I heard that we could put Paul Pogba out of position, so obviously we can get Donny van de Beek in there. Now, we know that Paul Pogba is going to be staying at Manchester United. I think, we've got to get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club to end the uncertainty over his future, because Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. Now, this season's going to be Paul Pogba's 5th season at the club since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. We paid $89 million for Pogba, so as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing. Now, quite a few weeks ago, Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola had come out and said that Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United this summer, and he said he will hold talks over a new contract. It said a few weeks ago that Paul Pogba was actually refusing to sign a new contract. But as it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Fabrizio Romano said that Paul Pogba wants to stay at Manchester United because he is happy. Towards the end of last season, though, I thought Paul Pogba was exceptional. I thought his combination with Bruno Fernandes was very, very good. But for the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on Paul Pogba because he was out with that ankle injury. And he sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. We was very, very critical of his agent, Mini Raiola, earlier on this year. Main explanation is reflecting on what he did because he publicly criticised Solskjaer and Manchester United. But don't forget, around this time last year, Paul Pogba made an admission saying that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge. And he publicly admitted as well that he wanted to leave the football club because he was talking a lot about Real Madrid. There was also a lot of talks about him going back to Juventus because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. PSG, Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for Pogba before. You know, Pogba so far has won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Don't forget we had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Alex Ferguson era, but obviously we had to let him go due to limited appearances. So maybe Paul Pogba isn't going to be available for this game against Crystal Palace. Now I want to confirm with you as well that Nemanja Matic, Juan Mata, Eric Bailly, and Wan-Bissaka and Fred were all in training on Monday. I think also too Bruno Fernandes was. Now, I think our only absentees are Alex Tuanzebe. He's obviously injured. I heard now that Phil Jones is fit. Let's let me go turn the light on a minute. I heard now that Phil Jones is fit, but he's not going to be selected. We know that Luke Shaw has just come back from an ankle injury for Manchester United, so I presume he'll be starting at left back. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. You know, Luke Shaw's enjoyed like 6 years with the football club. We paid £30 million in from Southampton back in 2014. Rashford's just recently recovered from an ankle injury. I think he missed both of England's games in the Nations League because of this ankle injury. Don't forget he had a back injury for us last season, did Marcus Rashford. You know. Mason Greenwood, I don't know if he's going to be playing in this game against Crystal Palace. He has been training alone recently. There's been a few issues with Mason Greenwood recently. I think something happened with him inhaling laughing gas or something. Mason Greenwood also got dropped from the England squad by Gareth Southgate. So too did Phil Foden for inviting girls back to the team hotel. And I think it said that Solskjaer was set to hold private negotiations with Mason Greenwood over his private life. We know that Mason Greenwood is now our new number 11. He's going to become the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11. Because before him, Martial wore the number 11. Adnan Januzaj, when we had him, he wore the number 11. And Ryan Giggs wore the number 11 for 25 years. And Mason Greenwood, towards the end of last season, sustained an injury. Now, like I said on one of my videos yesterday, Man United are facing 4 selection dilemmas. And one of them is goalkeeper. You know, Solskjaer's got to decide on who he's going to put in goal. I think he's going to put David De Gea in goal because I think for this season, David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper. But David De Gea has been our number 1 goalkeeper for several years. You know, this season is going to be David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United. You know, David De Gea's obviously endured 9 years so far at the football club, and I think he's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been here, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. De Gea has made 405 appearances for Man United in all competitions. 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. But he has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances. We paid just over £18 million for De Gea from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. There were some Manchester United fans that said, we should have sold David De Gea in this summer transfer window. Obviously reflects on how inconsistent he's been in the last few years, and we'd have still got around £60 million for David De Gea. But I think he'll stay at Manchester United for at least another season. But when De Gea does eventually leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. I really, really do. Last September, David De Gea signed a 4-year deal with Man United worth $375,000 a week. I think Solskjaer needs to put Dean Henderson in net though, and I think Dean Henderson needs to become our number one, because I think now Dean Henderson is reliable enough to become our number one. I think now Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him, because he recently endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. And he was Sheffield United's player of the season. He had other loan spells with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. We got Dean Henderson at the age of 14, so he has been part of the club for several years as Dean Henderson. And he recently threatened to leave Man United if he isn't assured to be number one this season. Not so long ago, he signed a 6-year deal with Man United worth $120,000 a week. So a goalkeeping decision's got to be made. Who are we going to put alongside Harry Maguire? It probably will be Victor Lindelof, because obviously Victor Lindelof's one of our first choice centre-halves, and he was playing a lot alongside Harry Maguire throughout the course of last season. Victor Lindelof will stay at Manchester United at least for another season. Victor Lindelof has endured 3 years at the football club. We got him from Benfica back in 2017 for £30 million. We've got around 7 centre-halves in the team. Obviously Eric Bailly, he's an option. But my element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he's injury prone. Obviously Chris Smalling, Rojo and Jones, it's looking very, very, very likely that they're going to be leaving the football club. And I don't think now we're going to sign a centre-half in this summer transfer window. So Lindelof will remain one of our first choice centre-halves this season anyway, because it said that Solskjaer postpones signing a centre-half in this summer transfer window, and he'll look to sign a centre-half next summer instead. Another one of the selection dilemmas is a midfield composition. Now, who we're going to go with in the midfield if Paul Pogba obviously isn't available? Don't forget, we have got 3 attacking midfielders now, and that's Pogba, Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek. Maybe Matic could start this game against Palace. Possibly McTominay could. Don't forget now, McTominay is our first choice defensive midfielder. I don't think Fred, to be honest with you, will start this game. Donny van de Beek, he should be making his Premier League debut on Saturday. I think Donny van de Beek will bring a lot to Manchester United. I really, really do. I think he'll bring goals. He'll add more depth. Donny van de Beek is only the signing that Manchester United have made so far in this summer transfer window. Got him in a deal worth £40 million, paid just over $34 million up front, and there was like $4.4 million in add-ons. And Donny van de Beek signed a 5-year contract with Man United to keep at the club until 2025, and there's also an option of a further year. We know that Donny van de Beek's our number 34 now. So there you go. But where will we play him? We'll probably play him as a box-to-box midfielder, because that's his predominant position. But before, Donny van de Beek's played as a holding midfielder, and he's also played as an attacking midfielder. And if Mason Greenwood, like I say, isn't available, I think we'll put Daniel James on the right wing. I really, really do. Wan-Bissaka, I presume, will be starting at right back. Wan-Bissaka is obviously our first choice right back anyway. Obviously, he will be facing his former club. So they are a few of the selection dilemmas. But was it earlier on this week, I give you my starting 11 prediction for this game against Crystal Palace. And, we should go with a pretty strong lineup. Martial playing in number 9. Martial, looks very, very effective in that central position. I've got to say, he has really, really improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Hopefully he can continue his good vein of form this season. Martial's enjoyed 5 years at the football club. We got Martial from Monaco for £36 million. But he's had 2 good seasons. Did well last season and did well under the Louis van Gaal era. And like I say, Rashford, who'll play on the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes, he'll probably play in number 10 because, that's his predominant position. I've been very, very impressed with Bruno Fernandes since he come in from Sporting Lisbon in January. He scored like 12 or 13 goals for us in all competitions since his arrival. He's won Premier League Player of the Month like 3 times, reflects on his good performances. So he's definitely the foreseeable future for Man United. He is. Harry Maguire. Don't forget he got arrested last month, and obviously he went to court in Greece, and he got a suspended sentence of 21 months and 10 days. This season's going to be Harry Maguire's second season at Man United. Obviously last season was his first season at the club. We did get Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. So he's the second most expensive signing at the club at the moment and the most expensive centre-half in the world. Solskjaer's already made his decision on Harry Maguire. He will remain Manchester United captain, but he'll definitely play in this game. What formation do you think Solskjaer will go with? He'll probably go with a 4-2-3-1. I think he's going to go a lot with a 4-2-3-1 formation this season. He went a lot with a 4-2-3-1 formation last season though, didn't he? He did make a lot of rotation last season. That was obviously reflected on the injuries that Manchester United had. So I hope that we don't get as many injuries this season. But Solskjaer knows that this season is big for him because this season is Solskjaer's second full season at the football club. And he knows that there's still improvements needed. There's still aspects of our game that I've got to improve. Like I said, I think we've got to be slightly more clinical in front of goal, score more goals. Defensively, we need to improve. There's still certain players that I've got to improve as well. I think Solskjaer's decision-making has also got to improve because in a lot of games last season, he was very tactically naive. But don't get me wrong, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, I have seen improvements at Manchester United. We've done well in the league recently. We are unbeaten in the league. In our last 14 games, we haven't lost in the league since January, which is very, very good news. We did also go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea had beaten us in the FA Cup semi-final. Definitely a lot of players have improved under the Solskjaer era. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. We have seen the likes of, Sanchez, Lukaku, Herrera, Fellaini, Darmian, Ashley Young, Valencia, Angel Gomez, all leave the football club. Don't forget we've loaned a few young players out. We loaned Tahith Chong out to Werder Bremen a few weeks ago. Obviously, to get regular first-team football. We recently loaned Dylan Levitt out. There was talk saying that we could loan James Garner out. I think we recently loaned Joe Pereira out as well. So I've definitely seen improvements. Obviously, last season was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the club, and I already give you my perception on it. I think Solskjaer did quite well. exceeded most of his expectations. He obviously got us qualification for the Champions League. We also finished third. That's the second highest we've finished since the Alex Ferguson era. So that just indicates how inconsistent we have been in the last 7 years. We also got to 3 semi-finals. We got to the FA Cup semi-final. We got to the Europa League semi-final. And we also got to the EFL Cup semi-final. But like Solskjaer said, semi-finals are not good enough. But the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And at that point, it was looking very, very likely that Solskjaer was going to be sacked by Manchester United. And there was obviously talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. And there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming into the club. But, when I was criticising Solskjaer, I was demanding him to be sacked, just like a lot of Manchester United fans were. But another side of me said that, if we'd have sacked him, it wouldn't have solved anything. Because not all of the blame stems from the manager. When Solskjaer's been accountable, I have admitted that. At the end of the day, Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. And Man United are not known for a sacking football club, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was Moyes. After he enjoyed 8 or 9 months with the club, Louis van Gaal enjoyed 2 years at the club, did win the FA Cup under him. And Jose Mourinho, he got sacked after 2.5 years. We won the Europa League and the League Cup under Mourinho, and that came in his first season. But Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. I think if we don't make any more signings in this summer transfer window, then our expectations this season, we'll be just finishing the top 4 so we can get qualification for the Champions League. Maybe we'll be expected to win some silverware this season because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and he has been at the football club now over 1.5 years. But I always said, we need to give Solskjaer at least another season at Manchester United. I always said it because it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while. Like I've said to Solskjaer, when he first came in, was inheriting a squad that was worth £700 million. Obviously, since Solskjaer has come in, he has spent over £200 million at the club. Obviously, last summer he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes in, and he also brought Odion Ighalo in on loan. He was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup last season. Just after lockdown, we extended Odion Ighalo's loan until January 2021. We recently brought Donny van der Beek in. Like I said, I'm hopefully he can make his Premier League debut this weekend. And Solskjaer's also brought a few academy players into the football club. So it's good that more young players are coming in. There's a lot of young players coming through at Manchester United. But I'm really, really infuriated. Main explanation is because, we're missing out on all our targets nearly. We've obviously missed out on Sergio Reguilon. He's going to Tottenham. We've missed out on Bale. He's going back to Tottenham on a season loan. We missed out on Erling Haaland in January. We missed out on Jude Bellingham. We've missed out on Thiago because he's gone to Liverpool. How many more players, are Manchester United going to miss out on? And Solskjaer recently revealed that he's been very, very infuriated with the board. Main explanation is over the lack of transfer business in this summer transfer window. And I think Solskjaer's totally blameless because Solskjaer's obviously publicly come out and said that Manchester United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window. And I feel as though he is progressing as Manchester United manager, and I think Solskjaer deserves to be backed more, and he's not getting enough backing. at the football club. And Woodward said quite a few times that he's determined to back Solskjaer. I know the Glazers said quite a few times that they're determined to back Solskjaer. But we've been critical of the board for several years anyway, obviously reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. The managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't been backed enough. We've made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years. We've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Ferguson era, and the vast majority of them have not been the right calibre players for Man United. Maybe there's players that a few players we got rid of who we shouldn't have got rid of. Arguably should have kept Herrera. Arguably should have kept Romelu Lukaku. You know, Woodward's been at the football club since 2012, and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. And a lot of United fans are protesting the Glazers. You know, they really, really are. But you definitely know Solskjaer is blameless. He really, really is. And my element of concern, there's teams around us that are recruiting very, very well. You know, you've obviously got Chelsea by far. They've done the best business so far. They've brought the likes of Ziyech in, brought him in February. They recently brought Werner in from RB Leipzig. They obviously got Ben Chilwell. They brought Havertz in, they brought Milan Sarr in, they brought Thiago Silva in. Mendy, you know, they try to get Declan Rice. Chelsea's priority is to get a goalkeeper to replace Kepa Arrizabalaga. Liverpool, they've now made 2 signings. They got Tsikmas and Thiago because they want to continue their dominance. Man City, they've brought Nathan Ake and Ferran Torres in so far. Arsenal, they've brought Gabriel Magalhaes and Willian in. Tottenham, they've made some good signs. Like I mentioned, they brought Reguilon in, they brought Bale back in, they brought Holberg in, Joe Hart, Doherty, Kyle Walker-Peters, you know, even Leeds, you know, they've made some good signings. So this is another one of my element of concerns. You know what I mean? So he really does deserve more backing. And like I said on my recent video, Solskjaer is in a similar situation to what Jose Mourinho was in. But at some point, I want us to win the Premier League title under Solskjaer. You know, some Man United fans don't think he's good enough to win the Premier League title because, let's be honest, he hasn't got a fantastic pedigree behind him. We're at least a couple of years off winning the title. You know, we have not won the Premier League since 2013. So we haven't won it for 7 years. We haven't mounted any title challenge up in the last 7 years. You know, we are the most successful team, though, in Premier League history because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League titles. I just, by the way, want to delve into some news on Alex Telles from Porto. There's positivity coming out regarding Alex Telles because reportedly, this is from the People's Person, Manchester United are closing in on a deal to sign Alex Telles. Alex Telles' agent has confirmed this, and reportedly in the coming days we will make a formal offer. I heard that Alex Telles is available now for just 18.5 million, so Porto have lowered their asking price. Alex Telles' agent was in Manchester recently to thrash out a deal for his client to join Manchester United. Now, he has been a left-back on our agenda. He's been at Porto quite a few years. I think his current contract with Porto does expire next year. I think Porto did pay around €6.5 million for him from Galatasaray. Don't forget he had a loan spell with Inter Milan. When he was a lot younger, he played for Grêmio and Juventude, and he is the age of 27. I think Chelsea were in for Alex Telles at one point, but we're now looking to get him in anyway because we've missed out on Sergio Reguilon from Real Madrid. We was emerged as the favourite to sign Sergio Reguilon as well. You know the news on Jadon Sancho. We was hoping to sign Jadon Sancho by the time we play Crystal Palace. Fabrizio Romano did recently say that Jadon Sancho still wants to come to Man United, and David Ornstein from The Athletic said that, you know, the personal terms have been agreed. Fabrizio Romano said the same thing, that personal terms been agreed, agent fees have been agreed, and a contract worth $250,000 a week has been agreed. But we need to come to an agreement on a fee with Borussia Dortmund. Now, Solskjaer recently spoke to Jadon Sancho. He recently spoke to Jadon Sancho and has assured that a move to Old Trafford is close and it will be announced very, very soon. We could even we could even make a move for Sancho in the final week of the transfer window. But, Dortmund's valuation is around £108 million. And, we've not been determined to meet Borussia Dortmund's asking price. But don't forget Lucien Favre, Borussia Dortmund's boss, recently said that Sancho's staying at Dortmund. Sebastian Kehl, their sporting director, also said that he is staying at Dortmund. But we can't miss out on Sancho. I think it's very, very imperative that Man United do sign him. It really, really is. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.